Okay, guys, we're here live with Meg Whalen. Did I get that right?
Yes, Meg.
Okay. So tell us, how did you pick up that guitar in the first place?
First time I attempted to play guitar was probably the first year that I was dating my husband. It was the first present he gave me was an acoustic guitar. And he said, I think
cool.
This was
Yeah.
20 years ago. And he said, I think that you should sing. I think you should learn to play the guitar and kind of follow those dreams, because he'd known that I had been a musician earlier on in life, singing, musical theater. And I had kind of put all that on the back burner through college, first decade of corporate world, and he made me think about it a little bit. I picked it up, I found it to be difficult. I had played the violin, but I put it down for a while, and then I had 2 kids, and I was a mother, and I felt such a loss not being an artist.
Yeah.
I just felt a sense of missing something, and so I just challenged myself. I said I should start writing. So I started writing without the guitar, and then I met a few people, some great partners to write with.
Sure.
Rob Tanico, Tom Casey, and in doing so, they would kind of hear what my melodies were, the lyrics. They would then help me kind of get some chords together.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, there was no one around to do that anymore.
Right.
And I was a little panicked. And I had been making some progress. I had recorded an EP, and I was ready to start going out and performing and putting together a band to do that with.
Sure.
And then I said, oh my gosh, I was so close, and now it's never going to happen. Like, I'm never going to have this fulfillment of playing these songs out. And I just said, I can't let that happen. And I picked up the guitar and started doing it again.
Yeah.
And with that amount of time, you could really get those hours in.
Yeah, exactly. With the COVID, it's like people are so confused. Like, I have more time home, more time to do stuff, but I can't do stuff. But then the whole digital world comes into play. We got Zoom, we got videos.
So I feel badly when I say this sometimes, but I mean, COVID really changed my life dramatically, I feel like.
You're not the only one.
And oddly for a positive way.
For the better, I was gonna say, okay,
and you feel badly because so many people had a horrible time.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess bad things make you kind of just reassess life.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And like you said, with the extra time on your hand, that's where the creative comes in. You're stuck at home, forced in the house, and people are the enemy now because of COVID. So that's when your mind's like, okay, let's write some music that you write and you could.
Yeah, I wrote a lot.
And there's probably a lot of stuff to write about too, right? So,
and I still had the connection online with several people that I was writing with. So we'd send things back and forth, and a lot actually got done. And that was also the opportunity to learn how to record myself. I was never doing that before.
Oh, wow.
Like getting Pro Tools out and doing.
Oh, you actually use Pro Tools?
No, actually I was using Pro Tools.
I
was watching other people use Pro Tools. But,
yeah, exactly.
So I threw myself into the deep end of trying to figure this all out, and came out in 2021 when people started having live shows again. And I think there was sort of like that break gave kind of space for people who hadn't really been on the scene to come out and say, I'm here now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I went to a lot of open mics.
So kind of like 2020 is kind of like your foundation point. Before that, did you write anything, or that's when you just started writing?
No, I started writing in like 2018, but by the time I recorded, I actually released my first EP the week that we went into lockdown.
Oh, amazing.
It was sort of weird timing, but it was all scheduled in the distro release.
On Spotify and everything.
So we let it roll, but then it was one of those weird things you didn't want to really promote much because everything was rough in 2020. And you just were like, what am I talking about my feelings for right now? Which
exactly.
Sort of the struggle with writing in general. You sometimes feel like, why does anybody care what I have to say? And you have to kind of push past that to
exactly. You realize some people just like music takes their mind off everything. Music's the one thing in the world that everybody likes. There's not one person I ever met or talked to that doesn't like music. Everybody says it just takes my mind off everyday life. It brings me to different places. It's relaxing. There's always a place for music for everybody, which is amazing. So what kind of caught me? So you said you just started playing the guitar at that time, but you had some other musical thing you were into. So what was it, singing? Like when you first got into music, was it as a little kid?
Yeah, my mother is a musician. She's a piano teacher, vocal teacher, like out of the house. So every day after school I was just listening to piano lessons. Yeah. And I was a classically trained violinist.
So you have the music and you're ready for guitar. So the guitar is just something like, okay, you got music, you just added that and that's kind of put you in a direction, right?
I've been trying to kind of realize that and be grateful to my mother for that in this past decade, because I do see now, like, there is foundation that had been buried under there, I think, from, like, deep in the cerebral cortex, that I think I am pulling from a little bit easier than if I was really just starting
And like you said, it never goes away. Like you said, you know, you put it away when you had a family, then you came back. It's just some people have it in them. They're not going to stop until they're.
Right. Well, now I can confess this to you. You're all going to be like staring at my guitar playing and being like, "What is this? What is she trying to pull off?"
Yeah.
But I practiced like a lot.
Yeah.
So I've been putting in my hours. I'm still trying to take some lessons. And
that's right. You never stop learning development. Even like some people have been singing for years. I hear people saying like 10, 20 years they're still getting vocal lessons. So always got to brush up. Yeah. So now, are you more of like a live performer, or are you more like a studio person, a small club? What brings you to like the most? You're like the creative writing person, or playing out?
I've been just kind of playing out a lot lately because I'm just like taking the ball and running with it.
Well, you can.
You can.
Something else crazy happens, you never know, right?
Well, that too, but it's kind of like when the iron's hot, you strike. So it's just kind of like.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been just gigging out doing the 3-hour cover set, but I am able to sneak in my originals next to things that kind of like are the same vein, and it's.
That's nice. Yeah, 3 hours set. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and people are really like open to the originals too when they hear them. They really give like a nice supportive.
Yeah, like, oh,
it doesn't freak them out that you're playing originals in their bar.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Which is nice. I mean, I think I don't know if that's kind of like a Jersey Shore thing, but for sure, you know.
Yeah.
The area allows for it.
Yeah, which you're right. I hear a lot of these guys, they do covers, but then they sneak a couple in once in a while, which is nothing. Hey, people love that. I'm like, what is that? I never heard that before, but it does sound good. You know? So, but yeah, so that's great. So, so what do you have as far as any releases? You have like a full EP or a full album now?
I released Blue Sky Effect EP in 2020, as I was saying during the pandemic.
So when you say EP, it was like 3 or 4 songs, or
that was 4 songs.
4 songs.
Yeah,
okay.
and then I guess, and then like over the last 2 years, I've released 2 or 3 each year, with the goal of getting it all together and getting the full album out there. No, not before. I mean, I've been doing these like one piece by piece and releasing them just to kind of keep the momentum, because I'm not, I don't put all that much weight into like, how big is this release going to be?
Exactly.
You know, I'm not like looking to get a Billboard placement. but that's not true. I'll take it. Like,
right. Hey, if you do it because you like it, that's the most important thing. It's what you enjoy, you know. Not always making it big in the music industry is tough, but the most important thing is do it because you like doing it and you like entertaining people, you know.
Yeah.
It's like the baseline of it.
So I find myself often playing like songs, like one of the songs I play, I've been playing a ton, but I've never recorded it, you know. When am I going to get around to recording it? I play it out all the time, but.
Oh, that's pretty cool. At least you get to see the test of waters before you do record it, you know. That's good.
Yeah.
So, so do you plan on like recording more, touring more? Like, what's your plan in the future?
This winter, I'm really hoping to record.
Record some more
I have
stuff.
some plans to record, meeting a couple new people who I haven't worked with before to see kind of their input, because a lot of things I feel like I'm doing in a bit of a silo.
Yeah.
You know, I'm playing out by myself acoustically a lot. Sometimes I'll play with a band, but mostly by myself. And sometimes you're kind of like, I could release some input every once in a while. So I'm hoping to build that a little bit this winter and try to like team up with some people.
Yeah, the cool collaborating makes total sense. Now, your style of music are you influenced by anybody in particular, some type of stuff, like a band, or more just like your own thing, whatever comes out? Like what's your influences?
My influences are like pretty eclectic, but growing up, like I said, my mom was a musician, so I had like a very strong foundation of all of your standards, you know, from the 40s on. But then,
that's
you know, like
50s, like Rolling Stones, and 40s.
Yeah, but like jazz. I mean, but she was teaching like vocal coaching, so like jazz standards and stuff. I would know, and all the Broadway.
Yeah, no Broadway.
But then we did like a lot of Simon and Garfunkel, Laura Nyro.
So like the folk kind of like folk.
But then I also like sat and read the lyrics of the Billy Joel greatest hits album, like in the 80s.
This is going to be exciting, guys, to hear how this comes into play, what all those influences in modern day. So we're excited and pretty original.
I mean, I will happily give away my age, but I think I feel like we're like about the same age. I was born in the early 80s, so like I feel that time. That time frame, like we have such a great foundation because our parents gave us like such a great foundation of that what we call classic, which I guess now is like ancient rock.
Yeah.
It was classic
it's funny when you hear like Nirvana's classic rock now.
Yeah, but we have that too. Like what we experienced in the 90s was so strong musically, and I just feel like we have like a real great range that we can pull from.
Yeah.
You know, because then I was in the 90s, I was like Portishead and Alanis and.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Natalie Merchant. I mean, but then I was even listening to the Dixie Chicks, so it was like you know, it was kind of all over the place, but a lot of
the
it.
90s were like that. It was since the 90s were, it's crazy. It sounds like you're a mixture of like the 70s and 80s and what's going on now. It's like the 90s was like in the middle of both. It's so weird. You know, the 90s is like to me is like a peak of the music scene. Went up here and down. Who knows where it's going from here?
I mean, does everybody? I mean, maybe everybody says this about the year that their decade that they were born was the best music ever. But I'm not saying the 80s were the best, but for me,
I like the late 80s, early 90s.
But obviously, Debbie Gibson and Tiffany were the best.
Yeah, I'm like in '87, like I had some cool stuff. I grew up like Run DMC, Beastie Boys, and like old like metal and stuff. That was the best in the '80s. You know, it's like that's cool.
Yeah. And we had the best times of hip hop and R&B.
Oh yeah, hip hop was like was a revolution in the late '80s and '90s. All the bands, it was insane.
Yeah, so the references are wide, but I guess if I'm like, I never really know how to give myself a genre to sit in, which is another reason I need other people around me to tell me.
Right, exactly. And honestly, that's the best. It's just doing your own thing and see what it sounds like. Some people are like, oh well, you know, I'm rock, I'm metal, I'm folk, I'm this. Hey, just whatever comes out.
Yeah. So.
All right, great. So, where can the world find you? Spotify, YouTube, Facebook? Where's your channel?
Because, like I said, I'm an old lady, so I do have a website. We have a website. There's an actual website. It's Meg Whalen. Yeah, www.megwhalen.com. But this Meg Whalen, social Meg Whalen.
Okay, social's a lot simpler. Everything on Facebook, you know.
All right, pretty easy to find, and on Spotify,
okay,
or YouTube Music, or Apple, or wherever you listen. All regular distribution channels.
Well, you're going to do 3 songs. You want to tell us about them, or you want to tell us about them before you play them, however you want to do it?
Sure. I can do it as I go along. That'll work. This first one, is I'll play the web first, which is not released.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much.
Your time to shine.
Thanks for the chat. This is a song that I wrote during COVID.
So we're at, okay, the cameras are good.
Oh yeah, are we good?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I can edit this up, but you're good. You're perfect.
So the web I wrote during lockdown COVID times. One of the songs that I was working back and forth with someone I work with, Tom Casey. And it's basically just a song about kind of the mess that gets tangled up in your own brain. Learning to embrace it, love it, it's yours, and be nice to it. This is the web. When today runs my head, still had to get up in the morning, make some things, set up some strings around another spool around, jump through hoops to get stuck in a loop, hope to make it at the other side. Sooner or later I look for a savior, then I find the hymn goes out loud. Does your mind make you nervous sometimes? Does the way you play make you lose your head? Do you give yourself a little bit of grace? Let the sunshine find your face. How deep is the devil in your soul? Did you really think you were in control? Live in the name, stick to a plan, and wonder what you're really doing this for. Live in the moment, it feels so despondent. Past and future doesn't seem to get me upset. With the thoughts that tangle to knots into a beautiful trance in light. Does your mind make you nervous sometimes? Does the way you thread make you lose your head? Do you give yourself a little bit of grace? Let the sunshine guide your face. That's the one. I usually play that one to start every gig that I go to.
Oh, like an opening song?
This next song I released in 2021, 2022. It's very, the 20s are hard, right? You're kind of like, it's all a blur. A very quick, yet very long time. But this is Bleed, and you can find this wherever you listen.
What you want, what you need. Do I fill your soul or do I make you bleed? Mama told me twice, look before you buy. Try it from at home for you, does not to fly. Think about the life, check out what you got. And you will have tried, only you survive. What you want, what you need. Do I fill your soul or do I make you bleed? Make you bleed. People run high, after the missy eye. Don't think that there's a pill that's better than that will. Singing in the face, don't make this mistake. You got this real harm, don't try to make my there's a little bit of conflict. Do you want just a little bit of drama to write this song? I'm up for the fight, resistance, you're the mind. Don't say I didn't warn you about the movie ride. Maybe you see the sign, just the reason for the lies. To show my love to fill you up like stabilize. Now what you want, and now what you need. Do I fill your soul or do I make you bleed? Ooh, make you bleed. And now what you want, and now what you need. Do I fill your soul or do I make you bleed? Ooh, make you bleed, make you bleed.
Thank you. That's
Excellent.
Bleed.
Cool.
Talking in my sleep. This is actually, I guess I released this in 2022. If not 20, yeah, 22. We'll go with 22. This is the last two sets that I recorded. This song is, I wrote this also during COVID, during a lot of time at home with the family, and it's about kind of letting yourself go in the rage direction and saying things that you might not really mean to say to the people that you love the most, and talking from a place that's not your true best self, let's say. This is Talking in My Sleep.
Toss to me's number, ain't getting much younger. Here in your room, with vibrotic gloom, showing my past, self-righteous love, losing myself. Satisfy your head. I've been talking in my sleep. Was not meant for love to speak. You won't. You would on repeat. Seem to shake these leaves. slow-moving clouds, big days abound, create stomping ground, making you feel my every feel, sharing my heart, placing playing fast. I've been talking day and night sleep, was not meant for love to speak. You won't hear what's on repeat, and I can't seem to shake these dreams. And when I wake, my soul you take. We think you may run, in a shoot gun. I've been talking in my sleep, was not meant for love to speak, and you what's on repeat. I can't seem to shake these dreams. Missing pain and table. There's somewhere out there having fun. I've been knocking down my sleep, was not meant for love to speak, but you won't hear what's on repeat.